So on chart game, you could either choose play day trader simulation or swing trader. Let's say you want to do swing. So you get some money and you can play as if like assuming that you are not aware of next candle. You can take some position right now on this because I use Bollinger Band CCI, and I think the last one would be Williams RIP. So whichever indicators you use, you can add on this chart, okay, and take the trade. So right now the candle, this last candle you see, is
Yeah.
almost about touching the lower Bollinger Band. I'll say next bar, it's still going down. Next, it has moved up since it was at lower Bollinger Band, and if I look at the support, the stock was actually down and it has now moved up. So if I say I'll buy, it has gone down, so my position it would be showing I'm in loss. Okay,
Okay.
but since it was at lower Bollinger Band and then reverse, I took a trade. So I'll still hold. See, the next candle it has moved up. It has not crossed upper this mid Bollinger Band.
Okay.
So I'll still hold. I'll say next. See, next candle it has almost touched the upper Bollinger Band. It is almost touching the upper Bollinger Band. The previous peak was here. So at this
Okay.
point, I can sell and close my position in 5.5% profit. Okay.
Okay.
Or if I don't sell, for me, based on CCI, this volume, it's a strong buying has happened.
Yeah.
CCI has not yet reversed. So I'm based on my trading style, I'm okay to take risk for the next day. Although based on this, I'm in profit and I could close, but it appears to me that it's a green Marubazu. The
Yeah.
volume is high. The CCI indicator is in overbought region, but it has not yet reversed. So I'll take one more risk. So here you see, I was showing below, but here also you can see that I've taken, this is actually for this position 1828 shares I've taken, and
Okay.
unrealized profit is this much. Next candle it has gone further up, and if you notice it has gone above this high, as well as this high.
Yeah. So we can still keep it.
Yeah, the buy volume has increased. Now I see a gap here.
Yeah.
You see? So this gap could get closed now itself because of the volume, or it might drop a bit and then this gap could close. Now, again, it's up to your risk level. Do you, when you were entering this trade, what was your target? If it has reached your target, if your target was upper Bollinger Band, you have reached your target. You could exit partially and hold partial positions, or you could exit completely and
Okay.
then re-enter when it drops for the higher target. For now, again, in this case, I don't see an upper price rejection,
Yeah.
although it is in overbought region and the volume is high. So I'm okay to take risk to see how it trades in the next. You see, it has given a gap down, but still it's a green candle, but the CCI has turned down. In this case, we could book
Sell.
our profit. We close the position at 9.41%. So with this, you can do any time.
Okay.
With this chart game, you are actually practicing what you would be practicing on paper trade, but in that case, you have to wait in real time for the next candle to appear, be it next day or next week. But with this game, you are practicing the same thing without having to wait. As per your own convenience, you can practice. So I
Okay.
have practiced my strategies on this chart game. And you would see that it shows the total position as well. This was for this trade. Sorry, this trade gain was 7.76%. Outside it shows how much was the total gain. And you could do that in this game. When you log in, it also shows whether you want to play as for cryptocurrency or for other things. So you can check.
Okay.
It is ETF, Forex, and cryptocurrency.
Kamal, just a question. This chart game is something like a paper trading of IBKR or different?
Yeah, similar to that, Arun had also asked the question, and based on that, I started talking about this. So paper trading, what I was saying is that you can do on IBKR or on Webull, but thing is you need to wait for the next candle to be formed. You
Okay.
have to wait for the next day to see how it is trading. Whereas this chart game, you can start playing anytime, like any game, and have the same experience, same learning you can get with this chart game. I have practiced a lot with this chart game. My strategies I have tested on this, and that has helped me getting better returns on my trade.
Thank you.
Okay. So just type chart game and you will be able to practice stocks, ETFs, Forex, or cryptocurrencies. These three sections they have, and they have for day trading or for. I see a fourth member, Risham Chavan. Is it Ashish?
Yeah, it is Ashish here.
Okay. So
Hi, good morning.
good morning. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Good, good. Okay, so any other questions? I see Vivek Nalavade has also joined us. Any questions? Anyone?
I wanted another script. I mean, I don't know which script you were looking at. I probably joined a little late. It had a 300% plus gain last day, and it was on the lower Bollinger Band. And I thought of taking it for a long term. So if you're done with your other script, can we have a look at this for a moment, please?
Sure, sure. So can you let
Good
me
morning,
know?
everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, Vivek.
Morning.
Which is that stock?
AVCT.
Yeah. So, so we will go over the stocks. Okay. And
Not EA, if rapid.
is AVCT, right?
Yes.
Last week, this stock has gone up from 0.84 to 3.13. So yesterday it has faced upward price rejection. It would be better to wait for it to close this gap and then re-enter.
Okay, meaning the downward gap, the
Yeah.
gap down.
This gap up.
Okay.
So there's a gap up you see here,
Yes.
and then there's an upward price rejection on this candle. Okay, so high was 3.13 and low was 2.07. It has closed at 2.29, which is almost close to the open price of 2.27. So it had gone up, because of which you see this high volume, and then it has.
Kamal, check weekly for this.
Yeah, even on weekly, you see it has touched the mid Bollinger Band and then has close to the EMA 10. So in terms of trading, it would be, you see in the aftermarket it has dropped a bit. So you can expect this gap to be closed, and then probably it could touch either of the EMAs and then continue further up, because on weekly chart, as we wanted that, on weekly chart it still has potential to go further up to 5.3 or even 5.10. The upper Bollinger Band on weekly is at 5.25. So it can still go up almost double from here, but if you wait for it to drop, close this gap and then re-enter, it will be even more.
Yeah, 1.52 looks a good entry.
Thank you.
1.52 with a stop loss of 0. Under 1. So check the risk to reward ratio.
Yeah. Mid Bollinger Band on daily chart slightly lower than that. This EMA 10 is at 1.55 on daily chart. Look on 4-hour chart, yeah, 1.55 would be a good entry.
All right, thank you.
Just, yeah, watch it on 4-hour chart and 1-hour chart. On daily
Sorry,
chart,
SL, you're
yeah.
saying SL will be 1.05.
No, under 0.99.
Oh, 0.99. Okay, 0.
Yeah. Because that was the previous support. If you go to weekly, I think 0.99 was the previous support.
It has
I don't know
reversed
the
from
values and the
0.84. So on 2-hour chart, you see the lower Bollinger Band is at 0.91. If you are entering at 1.55 and looking for target above $3, okay, which means you are expecting double,
yeah.
100% return, in which
Okay.
case, even if you have your stop loss of 60 cents, that's still
Yes.
good risk to reward ratio. I mean, at 0.90, which is like 60 cents of loss, is to 1.5, is still a very good risk to reward,
Yeah.
right?
Thank you.
Welcome. So I actually wanted to go through a specific format, and that format is that we would first go through the market indexes and then discuss the stocks, like Neha was looking for AVCT. So similarly, if you all have screened or been watching any stock, then we'll go over those stocks. So we'll first go through the market indexes, which will help us give an overall picture of what to expect in the next week, right? We'll start with NDX, which is NASDAQ 100, or IXIC, which is the entire NASDAQ exchange. The difference between these two is NASDAQ 100 has the top 100 stocks. This IXIC index tracks all the stocks. In terms of pattern, you will notice both follow the same trend. Is that clear why we should be starting our analysis with the market? Any
Yeah.
any questions in that?
Just
So-
to see whether the market is plus or, I mean, the whole market is going above or plus or red, green or red.
Yes, so we need to have a broader view first of what to expect from the overall market, because overall market trend would actually impact individual stocks as well. And not about the penny stocks, but I'm talking about the large cap stocks or the mid cap stocks. These stocks trend are taken together and the indexes track that. So if you analyze index, you will actually be doing a analysis of all the companies which are tracked on that index.
One question, Kamal, what is the difference between an index and a future?
So index, in index, you're actually, it's a collection of stocks which are listed on that on any exchange. Let's say in this case, NASDAQ. This is about how trading happens during the market hours. But futures are as the name says, you're trying to follow the index which is of a future date. It could be of a date towards the end of the week or end of the month. There are various instruments which are having their expiries on the end dates. And based on those expiry, if you are taking a trade, if that price reaches by that expiry, you make profit. If it doesn't, then you lose.
For a
Okay.
swing, we should look at, for any swing or a month trade, we should look at futures also, correct?
Futures, usually you would be seeing that I am sharing about futures in the pre-market or post-market with the intention of seeing how the next day trading would happen.
Okay.
Okay. You could track the futures, but during the market hours, tracking the indexes itself is good enough.
Okay.
If you are doing a day trade, your futures will help you to give an overview of what to expect during the market hours. During the market hours, you can track the indexes.
And what future should we look at to see futures?
So for futures, you have SPY, SPY index as well as futures, and so you on. So you see here in futures, these indexes are actually tracking after the market hours. So during the market hours, the same indexes can be used for tracking during the market hours. During the extended market hours, you track the futures. The main ones which are mostly tracked are SPY and Dow. And third is for NDX as well, NDX future. So NASDAQ in the after market hours, especially in the pre-market, if you look, that is more beneficial, because after market hours sometimes could change next day, depending upon the news that comes in between the aftermarket hours till pre-market, or depending on how trading has happened in other exchanges across the other continents or the other countries, that could also impact the futures of the North American market. So the primary ones, SPY is the most tracked by day traders, and next is Dow, and third is NASDAQ.
And QQQ, there's one QQQ also, right? Q.
Yeah, QQQ and NASDAQ, you will see that they follow almost the same trend, because most of the stocks which are listed on NASDAQ most of them, not all, are there on Invesco QQQ as well.
Okay.
So if you are analyzing QQQ, you may skip NDX. Okay.
Thank you.
So let's start with IXIC, which is for NASDAQ. And in terms of analysis, the indicators that we use or the indicators that you use, it remains the same. Instead of analyzing one single stock, you are analyzing a group of stocks which are being listed on this or the group of stocks which this index tracks. That's the only difference. Now, if you look at IXIC, and this I should change to daily chart. Let me just remove so that it's more clear. On my chart already has, although I use Williams R more and CCI, since stochastic RSI I had put, maybe someone might have asked, but stochastic RSI, Williams R, CCI, all four of them will give similar information, right? And MACD, if you are looking for reversal, but I heavily rely on Williams R and CCI because of leading and coincident indicators, and Williams R along with Bollinger Band gives me a good enough information for understanding how the market trend would be. For you, if you are using specific indicator for your stocks analysis, same you can do for the index analysis. Okay. I also heavily rely on EMS. That's why EMS were there. But let's begin our analysis with this. After my analysis, if anyone has any inputs or any different view, please feel free to pitch it. Okay. And this, because I'm there in this session, I'm showing how we should be usually taking this analysis session going forward. That we begin with the index analysis and then we go on to the stocks analysis, and the pattern in which we analyze, the criteria which we take, that can remain the same, so that it becomes quicker to cover after the indexes, the stocks that you all have screened. We can cover more number of stocks, or you guys can cover more number of stocks in the analysis. Okay, so let's start with IXIC. We see last week it was near the lower Bollinger Band, had a green candle on Monday. If you see, it was a lower price rejection, which gave an indication that Tuesday would be green, and it had a huge gap up, almost gave a Marubazu candle, was above the mid Bollinger Band. But as we had expected last week, based on the weekly candle and weekly chart analysis, we were expecting it to have a downtrend. So it started reversing, and on the last session, although it had opened, gave a gap down opening, dropped a bit, but got pulled up. So if you look at the last candle, can anyone name what is this last candle?
Dragonfly.
Dragonfly.
Right. So because of Dragonfly, we can expect Monday stocks listed on NASDAQ to trade higher. Or in short, we can expect Monday to be green because of this Dragonfly. Only thing is the volume is less. The stocks, if you are entering, you would be entering for a shorter gain, because we are currently at mid Bollinger Band and expecting if it reverses and continues upward, then your targets would be near upper Bollinger Band. For Monday, based on this candle, you can expect it to be green. However, for weekly chart, on weekly chart as well, it has taken a strong support from the mid Bollinger Band on weekly chart. So even on weekly chart, we see the Williams R has turned up. If I would have put CCI, one CCI would have been up. Let me just add CCI as well, because we are analyzing the text. CCI doesn't matter. So if you look at CCI and Williams R on weekly chart, it has reversed, which means the coming week we can expect stocks to trade up. And the last daily candle is showing that the next session could be expected to be moving upwards. So we can expect green Monday. And in terms of week overall, it could go further up. But when we are at the mid Bollinger Band, the market could reverse. So having stop loss is must. On whichever stock you trade, you can enter at this point for target of upper Bollinger Band, but having stop loss of the previous low or the lower Bollinger Band, depending upon your risk to reward ratio. I wait. Krishna, do you have any?
Hi, Kamal.
Hi. Do you have any inputs?
No, I just joined, man. For Disney, right?
No,
No,
this
man.
we are analyzing IX.
Yeah, I have Roku. I have did some analysis now. It could bounce off the channel that is currently in, showing that trend. So
Sure, we'll go on to those. We are first analyzing the index. Now we are at Nasdaq, and we'll go on to SPY and TSX. Then we'll come on to the stock. Okay.
sure. Yeah.
While you are in this chart, can I ask one question? So we are here, like when we look at the NASDAQ, because I was not understanding, you keep putting in the group all these futures and NASDAQ. So I wanted to understand, like when you're analyzing the last candle, we do not form in an index, we do not need to form any kind of pattern where it's like if it's going up or down in terms of wedge or channel or whatever. We just see the last few candles, see the volume, see the CCIs and all the other indicators, correct?
No, you can do the analysis exactly same as you do for any stock.
Okay.
The indexes are a collection of, you can consider, if you are analyzing one stock, you are just focusing on one stock. Index, you are looking at a group of stocks which are tracked by that index. So in terms of analysis, along with indicators, the patterns can also be noticed on the indexes as well. So same analysis, your way of analysis can remain the same. It's just that index will give you a larger picture, a big overall picture of the market.
Good, thank you.
Okay.
The last two candles cannot be considered bullish Harami cross, right?
This last candle.
Oh no, it's gone outside.
Yeah, so this, if you look at the week of this, it was longer.
Okay.
Because of this last candle, we can still expect Monday to be green, unless some news comes over the weekend, which is not good for the entire market. Based on technical parameters, we can expect stocks to trade higher on Monday. So what that means is, if you are watching some stock, you could decide to enter in pre-market or at the open of market. Make sense?
Yeah.
So let's go on to SPY. So even for again, like we have taught in the class, although for IXIC we started our analysis from day, but we should be starting our analysis from the week chart first, then come on to the daily chart. So looking at SPY, can anyone name what is this last candle? You could ignore the lower week,
Marubazu.
Marubazu.
the green Marubazu. And CCI is almost at the overbought. Williams star is in overbought, but stochastic RSI is still not in overbought. So we can expect next week the stocks to trade higher, and if it breaks this at 469 or close to 470, it has faced resistance before. We look at this level, it has faced resistance, which is where it has stopped on the last session. Because of this last candle, it could break this resistance, and if it breaks this resistance, it will be in a new range. So looking at the weekly chart, the stocks which are listed on SPY seems to be bullish, and we can expect them to trade further up. If you look on the daily chart, what is the name of this candle?
Hammer.
Yes. Ashish, any different opinion? Or at least what does it signify?
Downside price.
It's going to what, reject at the higher end, or
It has faced rejection at the lower side. There's a
Yeah.
downward price rejection. So we can expect it to,
what trend?
yes, we can expect an upward trend and expect it to move further up. And if you look at the high, previous high of SPY was 473, whereas the upper Bollinger Band is at 476, indicating the upward movement, and this resistance, which was previous resistance, it could break this resistance in the next session. The volume, sell volume on Thursday was lesser, or the red volume on Thursday was lesser than the buy volume, which means market is bullish. So we can expect it to move further up, which is a strong indication. Any of the major stock, you can expect it to move further up. Although analyzing the index gives a overall picture, you need to do analysis of the individual stock as well, and we'll come to that. But in terms of US market, both NASDAQ and SPY both are giving a indication that you can expect bullish market trend in the coming week. At least you will get chance to sell at higher price compared to what current price levels. So these two indexes were for US market. Now, since most of us trade in the Canadian market, the analysis of TSX index is important for those who are trading in Canadian stocks. And the index is TSX. We look at TSX on the other hand. Let me again start with weekly chart. So TSX from past 3 weeks, it was on downtrend, and last week it had a very large red candle, which means the last week the sell volume was higher, If you remember, the Omicron COVID virus news came last week, and this was formed because of that. This week, although it had dropped below the lower Bollinger Band, it got pulled up. All the EMAs, you see here, I have kept EMA 5, 10, 50, 100, 200. All the EMAs except the 100 EMA and 200 EMA, which are below. The shorter EMAs 5, 10, and 50 are above, which indicates the trend you can expect once the stocks or all the stocks which are listed on TSX, they can have upward movement. Once they move up, these EMA levels could become resistant. For TSX, it had dropped below the mid Bollinger Band and showed a reversal, which you can notice on Williams R and CCI. However, if it would have dropped further and got into the oversold region and then reverse, it could have been a strong reversal. If you look at Williams R, I don't know if it's clear, let me just TSX, if you notice just this line, around minus 65 of Williams R, it has reversed this time, and previously it had reversed when it was at minus 57. So on Williams R, it is taking support even without going in oversold region for TSX, which means the market is pulling it up when it is close to minus 50 or minus 60. When it is under minus 50, it is pulling up, and that has happened even this week as well. So from here, in terms of reversal, it has reversed. The indicators are confirming. But if you look at the candle, there's a upward price rejection, right? Because of the candle upward price rejection and volume is slightly above the average volume, but still it is not a strong reversal. It has reversed, but it is still not a strong reversal on the weekly chart. And when you look at the daily chart, it's clear the trend is downward. The indicators, Williams R and CCI, both are not in oversold region. So for TSX, looking at the EMA's direction as well, if you look at EMAs have also reversed slightly downward. When I say EMAs, you primarily look at the mid Bollinger Band. The mid Bollinger Band is slightly curved downwards. Although lower Bollinger Band is flat, but mid Bollinger Band is downward, upper Bollinger Band is downward. Williams R, CCI is downward. Even stochastic RSI has turned slightly downward. So for TSX, you can still expect stocks to trade downward. Any doubts here? If no doubts, then let's take. So now this was overall analysis of the indexes. Okay. Now, how this analysis can help in analyzing a specific stock. Now on TSX, as most of you know, we trade Shopify heavily. It's my favorite, VXR's favorite. And I am tracking Shopify. I had messaged in Telegram on Discord as well for watching Shopify as well as Tesla. So let's see how Shopify is trading and what we can expect from Shopify. although we are taking TSX, the same applies for the one on New York Stock Exchange. For saving time, we'll just analyze one of them. If we look on the weekly chart, it had given a gap down, got formed a green candle, but it didn't reach the lower Bollinger Band. That's why on weekly chart, it had not reached the oversold region. On the daily chart, if you could closely watch, you notice on TSX and SHOP, because of the price difference, it is going way beyond. Let's keep the Shopify. So what I was trying to show is the trend that we saw on TSX. You see similar trend for Shopify as well. So it has reversed. Because Shopify is forming this trend, and Shopify is the large cap stock traded on TSX, you see similar pattern of TSX. The trading of Shopify is impacting the pattern on TSX, but TSX has other stocks as well, and those stocks would also be forming similar pattern. That's why the TSX index is on the daily chart, it is downward. Similarly, Shopify stock is also downward. So in next session, although Shopify is traded on both exchanges and SPY and IXIC, which is Nasdaq index, we saw is showing uptrend. TSX is showing downtrend, and Shopify being heavily traded on TSX, we would take a safer trade expecting that Shopify would be downward. So we would rather wait to enter Shopify.
जाना है रेस्टोरेंट
Vivek, if you could
मैं नहीं
mute.
लेके जा रहा हूँ
Kamal,
Yes.
I think Shopify is currently, I mean, I'm seeing the NYSE one. It's currently at it's in a channel, no? If I look at my thing, if you go to a daily chart, it's I see it's in a channel. Still, it's an upward channel. So in that case, like I find like it could touch 1443.60, and it could go up to 1600 if in the coming days in a daily chart. That's what I'm seeing. Maybe I'm wrong.
So right now, at the current level, are you expecting it to trade bullish or bearish?
Last two looks like a red candle, but it's at support as well.
And if you see this gap down, it has not closed this gap down. Although it tried, but it got pulled up. So this gap is yet to be filled.
Okay.
Right. So you look at this gap at 1430, the high was 1430, and the low here was 1442. So if it could have closed this gap yesterday,
Mhm.
and that is what I had messaged to watch that whether it closes this gap. If it would have closed this, then we could have expected it to move further up and align with the other Nasdaq stocks.
Okay.
But because it has not closed this gap, and overall TSX index is also bearish. So although US market could be green on Monday, but for
Mhm.
but for Shopify, I'm expecting it to be bearish.
Okay.
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 Yeah. So for Shopify, the buy levels could be at 1425, or depending upon volume, if the sell volume is higher, it could go to lower Bollinger Band on daily chart or lower Bollinger Band on weekly chart. On weekly chart, the lower Bollinger Band level is 1327. So a safer entry 1330. 1330 to 1430. Again, Arun might say it's a large range, but yes, for Shopify, depending upon how it trades, within a day, it can go, if I talk about TSX, it can go $100 down and $100 or more up as well. So for Shopify, touching 1330 on a day and then getting pulled back to 1400 is not a unexpected thing. So for Shopify, if you are looking to enter, the buy levels would be from 1330 to 1430, and 1430 I'm getting from here, the close of this green candle, which is this gap. That's the buy range. And ideally, if you could enter around 1400 also, that's still okay. Since you are looking at target of 1560, 1650, and then 1700. And this is in NYSE. If someone is noting down, that will be better. Or later I'll have to share this again. And same on TSX. From 1660, let's take 1665 to 1825. That's on TSX. That would be the buy range for Shopify, and first target of 1980 is also possible. 1975, just to make sure that your order executes. And second target, 2095. And if you want to hold few positions for higher target, 2180. Okay. Anyone having any questions on Shopify analysis?
Yeah, Kamal, I just joined. Sorry.
Can you repeat the US things?
US
1300 to 1430 was the buy price.
Yes, and 1560 was the first target.
Wait.
Anyways, I'll be sharing this in our alerts channel as well once it is at those buy levels. Since you all are here, I am giving an example of how in the subsequent sessions you'll be analyzing the stocks which you guys would have seen. And TP2 on US stock, on US Shopify it would be 1675, and then this 1730 or 35 you can hold 2 positions. If it forms a green Marubazu like it had formed on this day. Okay, so I see that today we have spent a lot of time in analyzing the indexes and just one stock, but this is how I would expect you all to take through this analysis session. Whether any of the instructors are there on this call or not, that shouldn't be a matter. Whoever joins, whatever stock you have screened, it will preferably share in the group and then start the analysis with the indexes and then move on to the stock. Is
Like-
everyone okay?
Yeah. The question I had was like when I looked at the screeners yesterday,
Mhm.
like for the US market, although there were quite a few which were like showing reversals, but when we look at the stocks by itself, they were not like a good trade. So
So I'll quickly answer that. So this is US market stocks on screener. Okay, and as we have shared in that session, here I have kept below or equal minus 90, CCI is minus 200, and let's start with the weekly chart or weekly screeners first. Okay, with these levels, it gives stocks which are in oversold. That's the first level of screening, but with that we still have too many stocks because the market had sell off towards the end. So there are many stocks which are in oversold region. Now 63 stocks would be too much to analyze. So let's see if there's any stock which on the weekly trend has reversed. Okay, so these indicator values, you could also include RSI, are giving the stocks which are in oversold, but we would be interested in stocks which have reversed so that we can enter the trade, right? So since we have filtered with this, let me sort with least RSI. Now the first stock that is coming based on that screening is DocuSign. Now for DocuSign, this is the chart. Let's see on the weekly chart. On weekly chart, based on the indicator, okay, before even going on the chart, based on the indicators value here, we got to know that this is in oversold on the weekly chart. Because I have kept a filter of volume above 1 million, which means there's considerable trading happening on this particular ticker. Its last price was 144. BB low is lower Bollinger Band, which was at 175. Low 52 weeks is 131, which means the current price is very much close to the 52 weeks low, right? And upper Bollinger Band is 352. If we look from the current price 144 and imagine just without even looking at the chart, if you enter at the current price and keep a target of $344, you are making $200 profit, which would be more than 100% return without looking at the chart. Okay, whereas the 52-week high is showing 314. So instead of upper Bollinger Band, the target seems 352 seems too higher. So 314, even if you look at 314, that's still okay. You can get close to $180 return. And so I'm saying this just looking at these numbers. I have not gone to the chart. Now, we need to go on chart to see these numbers look attractive to enter the trade, but what does the chart says? Then you open chart, and on weekly chart, can anyone name what is the pattern? Last two candles?
Bullish Harami.
Haram.
No.
Yeah, bullish.
Bullish haram, right?
Yeah.
Although the last candle has had upward price rejection, but in terms of looking at this pattern, it is bullish haram. So it's still a positive indication that we can take this for trade. Now looking at the daily chart, from weekly chart up to now, after screening and looking at weekly chart, at least I am feeling positive about this stock that yes, this is a probable stock to take trade. Now let's see how it appears on the daily chart. On daily chart, it had a gap down on 3rd, tried to reverse, but on the last two sessions, it has reversed downward. So if I add any of the indicators, so on even on daily chart, it is in oversold, but the indicator is slightly downward. So what we can do for this DocuSign is keep it in watch list and wait for the day in the coming week when it reverses to enter.
Hey, Kamal, I can see that on December 2 or 3, there's an earning calls that happened. That is because what it went down?
It went down after the earnings. So this quarter, if you would have closely watched, most of the stocks upon earnings, I would say majority of the stocks upon earnings have given a gap down. So entering after earnings release was good opportunity for majority of the stocks in this earnings release. In next quarter, it could change, but for this quarter, this has been a common observation. You look at majority of the stocks upon earnings, they have given gap down, and this is one of them. And since it has given gap down and we are not on it, we watch it for its reversal so that once we enter, we can hold it for it to close this gap down, which would be our profit. So this DocuSign, Arun, if you notice, I had not seen DocuSign, although I remember after gap down about 4 or 5 days back, I had mentioned about DocuSign because it had appeared in the screener itself. If you look at the Discord chat,
Yeah.
I had shared a list of stocks in that DocuSign was there again from the screeners itself. So today also the screener is giving DocuSign again, and based on the values of the indicators that we use, at least from the weekly chart, it is at level that we can enter the trade. It's just that on the daily chart, it has reversed. So I would watch it on the daily chart to reverse upward. Now the last two candles is indicating that on Monday it could be downward. If it forms a bullish harami or it forms a bullish engulfing, which will be a strong reversal candle, then we can enter this trade. Although we might enter at this price, which is around $11 higher, but we are more sure that the stock has reversed and it is going to go further up. Clear?
Yeah.
And if we enter, why I said this level, because if you notice, it has faced resistance at 155. So if it breaks this resistance of 155, the next target would be this mid Bollinger Band, which is 220, or it could actually close this entire gap, which is around 230. So our buy could be at 155 with first target near the, because the mid Bollinger Band moves every day. So if you are taking trade based on mid Bollinger Band level and not based on your analyzed resistance, you need to update your targets as well. Based on the analysis, your resistance, you will have this level, which was a previous support, which could be your next resistance as target. So entry at 155 with the target at 230 or 228, 230, which would be about $75, 75 or $85 profit on this trade. 55, 60, yeah, $75 profit on this trade, which would be almost 50% return. Now, if I am not interested in holding up to this level, then I would add EMAs to see what could be my intermediate targets. The EMAs would give me intermediate targets. I'll show you on Google. This is what I meant. And this is one of the reasons why I use EMAs. So if I am taking a quick trade, I can enter at 155 with a target of 175, especially if you are taking day trade. Target would be $20 itself, but this EMA 10 is giving me that target. And you won't get that from, or you might have to look too much back to get to the same levels. Okay, so I was answering about using screener. So Arun, is that helpful?
Yeah, I was looking at the day. Maybe I should go start with the week bar.
Yes. If you start from screening from week, the success rate of entering a stock and exiting at profit is higher. Because if you look only on the daily chart, if the stock is bearish on the weekly chart, you might end up entering before and the stock might drop and you will have to hold longer.
Okay.
Kamal, how do you get the Canadian indexes on this?
Canadian indexes or Canadian stocks on screeners?
Canadian stocks, but these are all Nasdaq stocks, right? They're not on TSX.
Yeah, these what we got are the US stocks. So if you would like to screen Canadian stocks, only thing is with Canadian stocks, you need to be little lenient in terms of the indicator values because the trading volume is not that much. So first thing is volume you need to reduce. I am usually okay with over 100K volume. Vivek sir prefers over 500K volume. And even Williams are minus 50 doesn't give. That's CCI minus 9. So just be little lenient on the values that you put in on the indicators, and then we'll start getting stuff. So let's see this AUSA. So okay, so the stock price is 0.65. Let's see stocks above $1. So gram.u. On the weekly chart, it was at lower Bollinger Band. Williams R has reversed. If you add other indicators, you might notice other indicators also you have reversed. And being in oversold region and has formed a green candle on weekly chart at the lower Bollinger Band with the indicators curling up. It's giving a hint or indication that it appears to be a good stock, could be considered for entry based on the weekly chart. Now let's see on the daily chart. And if you look on the daily chart, it has been, although the market was red, it has been forming either red Marubazu or green Marubazu or green engulfing. So even at current level, it's still a good stock to enter. The last price was 1.85. You could enter for the first target at mid Bollinger Band, which is $2. There's a this level could become next resistance, or the upper Bollinger Band on the daily chart, which is around 2.4. Upper Bollinger Band is at 2.5. So around 2.45 could be your target. So if you enter at 1.85 with first target of 2, which is like 15 cents, around 7.5% or around 8% return, and if you exit at 2.45, which is almost 30% return. And purely based on the indicators that we have covered in the class and the screening that we have shown in the class.
Kamal, do you want to revisit the ones that were given in the premium channel? For example, UPLD, for example, it's gone.
So it has hit stop loss. I think I had not marked it on the channel, but it had hit stop loss. I had noticed for UPLD.
Yeah, and the best part is I didn't put a stop loss.
So that's a
I'm below.
problem.
It's a big problem. So I don't know if I need to exit it or if I just hold on for some more time.
Sure, we'll go on to that. So Arun, is screening fine? Is screening part okay? Arun and Neha, you also had some questions about screening before.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm good also.
Great. So let's go on. And this we will take as the second last stock. After this, we'll take Roku, which Vivek Krishna had mentioned, and then we'll call it off for the day. Because we have another session planned at 11 o'clock. Mention about UPLD.
Yeah.
So UPLD, we had given long time back, and $20.04. Yes, it is at 19.5. I think I had checked yesterday. It had dropped. It had reversed, but then got dropped, and it should have hit the stop loss. And now, if you are still holding, weekly candle is a problem. It will depend upon next session. If the sell volume is not that huge, then hopefully it takes the support here, or otherwise 18.2.
There is this gap down.
We'll have to see here at 17.5. So I basically traced back in history to see when was it at this level. And there is a small gap up here, which it could close if it has not closed already. From 17.5 to 17. So if you are thinking to average down, 17 would be the price where you can average down and try to exit at the target, which could
There is
be,
this gap down also, right, here in November.
yes, this gap down you are saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because of this gap down, I had given an alert. TP3, yes. TP2 would be covering the second or first TP. Yeah, second TP is covering this gap down, and then this. That was the reason why I gave, but it moved and then it has reversed here. On the last session, it has gone to 19.5. In fact, the stop loss was hit before. I had given much back. When last week, the stop loss would have hit last week. On this day, on 29th. So now, because it is based on these two, and if you look at indicators as well, other indicators also, if you add, it will be downward. So if you are planning to hold, try to average down at 17 and exit at around 21 or just above your break-even price. Because this gap down, it might take time to close this gap. If you are okay to hold that long, then hold will be a little longer. Right?
Okay.
Okay, so we will take Roku as the last stop.
Kamal, like I have done the analysis. Can you see if it is looking okay or like it is?
Yeah, I would be happy to hear your analysis and then let others
Can
to
I
comment
share
and
my
ask.
screen?
Yeah. Yes. So I would be happy if you can share your analysis and then someone can comment on that and then I would add my comment.
Can I share my screen?
Sure.
So this is my, can you see my chart?
Yeah.
So this is my analysis for Roku. It's currently in a downtrend, and it tried to break this channel, and the volume is also coming up. So I feel like this should, if it is reverses from here, it can go at in a short term. It could be 277 to anywhere from 357 in a short term. So this is my analysis. That's my support and resistance that I drew based on the class. And I find like on a long term, this could be the more sell-off region, but that will take some more time. So this is my analysis for Roku, Kamal. And this line that you see is like kind of a yearly downward trend line that I drew.
Okay. So
if I can zoom out, yeah, I mean, if I can zoom out, you can see. I think there is no further to zoom out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I feel like this is the downward trend line, and this has been a good growth stock. If I can still put a trend line like this, but that is not required because it has already broken this trend and it is in a downward trend. So I feel like now the chances for this to revert would be in this channel. It's following this channel, and there is one time it tried to break, another time it tried to break. So the third time it could be a possibility to break and go up. Just my thought.
Yeah. So if you could zoom a bit. Let's see the last few candles. So, did you exit last week or you are still holding?
I'm gonna hold for long, man. This one, this is like kind of I'm having this one Walmart, and probably I have to enter Disney as some of the investment stock I'm looking at. But I'm planning to have these kind of large caps as kind of a long-term investment.
Okay. Okay. So this last two red candle,
Mhm.
maybe I missed. And so are you expecting it to reverse from here because it is at support, or are you
I
expecting
feel
it
like
to
this
drop?
is a support. Two of five could be the support.
Mhm.
And if from there it should reverse, because like this, if it is forming the next red candle, that's the crow, right? Then it should go a little bit down and take this as a support. But I feel like this itself can act as a support. This green candle could help to have as a support.
Yeah,
And
if you
reverse.
draw a horizontal line just below the current levels, there were few candles where it had taken support. Yes.
Yeah.
So currently it is at support. It's just that because it had a gap up, if the US market is green on Monday, Tuesday, it could reverse from this support and may not close the gap up which it formed 3 days back.
Okay.
However, watch for a few hours on Monday before adding to your positions. If you are thinking to add,
Okay.
then watch how it trades in the first 2 hours of market, not the pre-market,
Okay.
and then see whether it is honoring the support and going further up.
Okay.
One question in this, Roku, Kamal. So you said that where you put the new support, which is just below the current day's candle, yesterday's candle. If the market is down, is it a possibility? I mean, just a question, a possibility of this gap up closing, not maybe tomorrow. If tomorrow is green, for example, I mean, sorry, if Monday is green, yes, it went up a little bit. And it broke the resistant trend line that he has created. But is it possible to again further go down and close this gap?
Yes, it's quite possible. And because of this trend line, the downward trend line which Vivek has drawn, it could go up, touch the upper resistance line on this trend line, and this on the trend line itself, and then start going downward and close this gap and come to this 205 level, which could be a strong which could be a strong support from where it goes further up. So if you're thinking to enter for long term, then it could make sense to wait and see whether it faces resistance up and enter at 205. For long term, 205 would be a better entry if you are entering for the first time. Okay.
Vivek Nalavade has written something. Can you see to that, Kamal?
Yeah, think for long term, do look at P ratio. Roku is, it's more than 100 as of now. That is what is one thing.
Yeah. Another one that I did this time was ASO. So I entered around this 43 region and I exited around this region. So this was the earnings. This happened because of the earnings. I think like I shared on the
Discord,
group. Yeah.
So this we are looking on the 5-minute chart. So
Yeah, I did a short trade in this. Yeah.
Makes sense. Look on 5-minute chart.
Okay, man. Yeah, these were the ones I had in my mind.
Okay. Great. So
And,
yes,
and I'm also looking at Walmart. Walmart could kind of it's gaining up the trend. If someone is interested, can look into that That's what it.
Sure. So
I think you also said Disney, right? Somebody said Disney.
yeah, DIS. So actually, I was thinking to share about Disney when it was at 145, and then I got busy at work and I didn't share. And then next 2 days it went up. It is currently at 155. So just watch. I'll share again the levels for Disney if I see it is at support. But for those who are watching, to look for medium to long term, DIS could be good. Vivek Nalavade had mentioned about DIS long back,
Yes.
and it had dropped, and then last week it was again at good level. Okay.
All right.
So with that, what I would say as last note for today is that whatever stocks you are watching, please analyze and share on the Discord so that we as instructors as well as learners together can share our viewpoints on that, so that your trade is much more refined. It helps you in getting better returns. And this analysis session, although it might sound as if it's too short, when you start doing analysis 1 hour, you might not realize how fast it goes. But if we keep that time limit of 1 hour, it will be help in keeping it every weekend. Otherwise, it can extend to 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and then next week people won't join. So that's what I would recommend. Whatever time is suitable. If 9:30 a.m. seems suitable for you all, or if you think you want to hold it later, that would suit. Just see whether it works out and keep it every week. That would help everyone. It has helped us as GMT team, and definitely it will help you all to take the trades in the next week.
Definitely. I mean, like for me, this timing is great because nobody is awake. I mean, I'm from Calgary, so nobody is awake at my home. So I can solemnly listen and do what I'm doing. So if people in Toronto finds it hard, let us know.
I'm good. I have one question, Kamal. So, like, I've been having little thing difficulty in buying trades. So, whenever we have this session, can we look at the next week what we should buy and analyze only those couple of stocks? Is that just a suggestion?
Yeah, that's how you all will be screening. Once you screen, you will be getting stocks for taking trade in the next session on Monday or Tuesday.
I mean, Kamal, like I would like to add something to this point. Kamal,
we have
like,
2 minutes. Yes.
Most of the time, like the stock that goes up kind of crazy don't show up on the Friday screener, right?
The ones,
like, for example, AVCT did not show, right? Or CFVI, those guys on that day, or like on the pre-market gainers or something, no?
Right. So Vivek, as you would have noticed also, that these screeners are helping us to get stocks for swing trades, right? Because we are looking on the weekly parameters and the daily parameters. For quick trades, the pre-market gainers and active, especially active and gainers, same for post-market, active and gainers. And that's the reason, if you look on Discord, these are the 2 commands which I'm running for the bot.
Okay.
So with the stocks that we get for those 2, active and gainers, we would find at least 1 stock to take trade, and that 1 stock should be good enough for a few minutes,
definitely.
couple of hours, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Even pre-market, sorry, Kamal, one last question. Even pre-market gainer and active can give you a good swing, a good scalp in the day, that very day.
Yes. If you are looking at the pre-market, look at pre-market active and gainers. If you are looking in post-market, look at post-market active and gainers. If you are looking during the market, active and gainers during the market.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so with that, I have to go in another meeting. So I wish you all a happy remaining part of the weekend and profitable next week of trading.
Sure, man.
And
Thank you. Thank
hope
you
you
so
all-
much
Thank you.
for that.
Kamal,
ABC.
are we meeting next Saturday as well? So you're going to drop on next meeting?
So I would say you guys drive this meeting, and at 9:30, whoever is present, you all can use this Zoom meeting invite for your call.
Okay, sounds good. Yep.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. Thank you all, and
Thanks, Kamal.
bye for now.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.